Hey there, it's John Anthony Francis Wilcox, and these are six Boss songs from May 1973. Before we go any further, as always, the links to these six Boss songs are to be found in the comments section right below this video of my talking head. So, May 1973, a month before I turned 13. Um, I was a very quiet, bookish, uh, creative fat boy, reading lots of comic books. Um, I wonder if at that time I hopefully had um, Aurora AFX little slot cars. I love those things, especially my number 43, Richard Petty. I had the all blue one. I don't know if I had the red and blue as well, but I had the all blue one, and I used to go to the Carousel, which was a toy store, among other well, it was mostly a toy store, and they had all the accessories, so you could like put better tires on your slot cars, or the little contact tracks, or spruce up your motor, or oil it. Well, there's your one thing, folks. I'm going to say, if nothing else from this video, oil your motor. Oil that motor, and it will run smoothly. Just do that. Put the mag wheels on if you can. So, and by the way, the reason these are Boss is that was my word. Like when I was 12, 13, going on 13, if something was really cool, I would say, oh, that's Boss. Oh, that's really Boss. So these songs are Boss. And I was looking through where I got these. I went to the May 1973 Billboard chart, Billboard 100 chart, and these are all off of that. So, good source. I'm very fond of all these songs, and they're quite diverse in their nature. So we start with song number one, which is "Right Place, Wrong Time" by Dr. John. I used to have the single of this, and I loved his voice. That "I've been in the right place, but it must have been the wrong time." Yeah, I love how he said "Surgery." That was Boss. That was cool. Dr. John Mac Rebenak, the Night Tripper, the Gree Man. Uh, Wonderful song about a man in a situation, with great keyboard from him and a great killer diller vocal. Song number one, "Right Place, Wrong Time" by Dr. John. What did I pick for song number two? Oh, you're kidding me. "Stuck in the Middle with You" by Steelers Wheel. Yeah, I know, really big song, but it was new at the time. And Steelers Wheel, I had no clue that was sort of a two band melding, because you had guys from, I believe it was the Humble Bums, and a lot of the backing musicians of this was a band I wasn't aware of at the time, but have gone on to be one of my favorite bands, which is the Newcastle on Tyne band Lindisfarne. Uh, they're most of the backing players on "Stuck in the Middle with You," and I loved the voice of Jerry Rafferty on this. Rafferty. I'm sorry, I have a lot of brain farts now and then, and that was one of them while trying to say Jerry Rafferty, who sings "Stuck in the Middle with You." I believe he wrote it as well, or at least co-wrote it. He was on the planet on which it was written. My future self came to its past, which is my present day, to inform you that song number two is "Stuck in the Middle with You" by Steelers Wheel. Song number three, it changed my world, and a lot of people. It's "Hocus Pocus" from Focus. an instrumental that's not an instrumental because it's got yodeling. The I used to be able to sing those high parts too. I can no longer do that because I'm going to be 63 next month. But Thijs van Leer on vocal and flute and keyboards. Tears van der Linden, isn't that his name? On drums. I can't remember the bass player's name. And I've just gone up on the guitar player who I should know by now. And I apologize to the players in focus because my brain is not in focus, hence the brain farts. Um, that's how it goes. Live with it. Look them up yourself. There you go. Here's a craft project. Go online, go to Wikipedia or Google or whatever, and put in focus, hocus pocus, see who the members are, and make me a sculpture out of macaroni of their names. Maybe some paint and glitter. Take a photo of that and yourself waiting. Hi, John. And I will look at it and I'll go, oh, that's boss. Because it is. And that is song number 3, Hocus Pocus by Focus. Song number 4, it's One of a Kind Love Affair by the Spinners. Now, when I was 12, I was well versed in those having those one of a kind love affairs. 12 on to 13, please. But I always loved the Spinners. This week, as I am filming this, the Spinners just got inducted, into the Hall of Fame. I mean, they're having the ceremony later this year, but they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which I could care less about. But this year, the Spinners and Kate Bush are in, so that's a good thing. That's boss. It's all boss. Ask Bob Ross. He'll give you a toss. But I love the Spinners. I've probably rhapsodized at some point about my love for their song Games People Play. I just love that. Rubber Band Man is okay. They have so many good songs though. And this, One of a Kind. I saw that on the list. I like, oh, instant smile. One of a kind love affair is. Yeah. That's one boss tune. That's song number 4, One of a Kind Love Affair from the Spinners. Song number 5, please. This even has a Beatle connection because it's Will It Go Round in Circles by the great Billy Preston, who, of course, as you know, toward the very end of their final recordings and stuff, on the Let It Be stuff, Billy Preston played organ with them and was a pal of all of them and a brilliant player on his own, and I just remember how taken I was. I used to love whenever this came on the radio. We'll go round in circles. Was it Will It Fly High Like a Bird Up in the Sky? I'm adding special bossness to it. Fantastic song, fantastic man, fantastic player. This is like a gold mine, this May 1973. I could have done several of these, but I stick to the 6, And that's We'll Go Round in Circles is song number 5. And I thought it appropriate to finish with song number 6, No More Mr. Nice Guy from Alice Cooper. I was very big. This is, it's from the $1 Billion Babies album. And I think that Killer and $1 Billion Babies are the best Alice Cooper albums to date. They never topped it. After that was Muscle of Love, which was okay. It was a step towards, I don't know, normalcy. When you have an Alice Cooper album that Liza Minnelli's on, you're not cutting the edge quite as much, or you know what I'm saying. And then that became I don't know, what I would call Vegas Alice, singing Only Women Bleed, stuff like that, and Welcome to My Nightmare, and Schmaltz. He used to be on stage with someone running around in a chicken suit. That was, different from being electrocuted and hung and guillotined and stuff like that in the old Alice Cooper days. Um, but no more Mr. Nice Guy. It's just a piece of fun. It's not, again, it's Boss. It's maybe not the most Boss of Alice Cooper tunes, but there's some great times of. I would say if you don't know these albums, familiarize yourself with Killer, especially, and Billion Dollar Babies. Uh, Fantastic. Just absolutely wonderful. Mr. Vincent Furnier, who's Alice Cooper, does a fine job sneering through the vocals on this. And it is song number 6, No More Mr. Nice Guy, from Alice Cooper. And that concludes 6 Boss songs from May 1973. I hope you enjoy them all. Think back to when you were 12 going on 13. What were you listening to? Think about that. Isn't that kind of cool to think back? Go look it up. You could just put in the year, put in top 100 songs in whatever year you turned 13 and whatever month. I chose May because I thought, let's see what was going on just before I turned 13. I was originally going to do 1960, which was the year I was born, but I just thought I'm kind of in a mood for about 1973, 50 years ago. So there you are. I'm blabbering on. I love you. Goodbye. Get out of here. Get out of here, Wilcox. You're not boss anymore.